Hello everyone, welcome to Preparation Easy. I am Apeksha, your guide for International English Olympiad for class 10th. I am going to guide you to give you tips and tricks for International English Olympiad exam. If you are preparing for this exam, I am so excited to guide you through this journey. So if you are sitting and watching this video and if you are in class 10th, then we are going to prepare for the International English Olympiad with Preparation Easy, and today we are going to overview the syllabus of this exam. Okay. So are you excited? Because I am really very excited. Okay. So first of all, whenever we are preparing for any exam, okay, whenever we are going to deliver in we are preparing for an exam, okay, we need to understand the syllabus and pattern of this exam, right? So what do we need to understand? What kind of syllabus, what kind of topics are expected in this exam? What is the pattern of this exam? What is the marking system, right? For each question, how much marks are there in this exam? So we are going to understand each and everything. We are going to understand the syllabus, we are going to understand the exam pattern, and we are going to make our own plan for this exam. Okay, so now onwards we are going to understand the syllabus overview for the exam. This exam is divided into 4 sections, section 1, section 2, section 3 and section 4. And each section has specific topics, and in section 1 there are a lot of topics. So you can see, starting with synonyms, antonyms. Okay. The section 1 starts with synonyms, antonyms, analogies and spellings, one word, one order, etc. etc. We will understand all these topics in details, but first of all, we need to understand the time and marks. Okay. So there will be 50 questions in this for this exam. There will be 50 questions for this exam, and we have only 60 minutes. We have only 60 minutes. So for each question, we roughly have 60 seconds. How much time do we have for each question? We have 60 seconds, that is 1 minute, which is really very less. But if you are preparing for a competitive exam like International English Olympiad, then you have to make it easier. What? The preparation. Okay. So we are going to understand the syllabus hereafter. Synonyms, antonyms, analogies and spellings, one word order, nouns, pronouns, verb, adverb, etc. So synonyms, antonyms, I believe you understand the similar words and opposite words. So how we are going to remember this? Similar words, right? Similar words and opposite words. This is not going to be asked in your question paper, but we need to remember, we need to understand what is synonyms and antonyms, and specifically if you are preparing for the first time, you need to understand the concept of each and every topic. Okay. So as for similar word, you can remember like this: synonyms, similar words, and anti. Anti means opposite. Okay. So antonyms is for opposite words. So similarly we are going, this is the only first and second topic, but we are going to understand each and every topic. And while preparing for this exam, my Moola mantra for this exam is understand. So what we are doing right now is we are going to understand the syllabus. Okay, we are doing we are understanding the syllabus in detail, so that we are be able to understand the demand of the question, right? We will be able to understand the demand of the question. What is the question asking for? What type of question it is, right? So we need to understand the syllabus first of all, then we will understand the question types, then we will understand the demand of the question, etc. etc. But first of all, if you are preparing for the first time and if you are in 10th class, you need to understand the syllabus of this International English Olympiad exam. Okay. So yes, synonyms, antonyms, analogies, these are words we are going to understand, and trust me, synonyms and antonyms is a very vast topic, because for each word we will be having 10 to 15 similar words or opposite words, which automatically makes our vocabulary very strong. So yes, it is going to be a plus point, but to remember each and everything, we have some tricks and tips, and that we are going to understand in our next video, where we will be understanding the topic synonyms and antonyms. So yes, these are the words, and then from here, from nouns to, let's say, collocations, we are going to understand the parts of speech. Okay, we are in 10th class. I believe you all know the parts of speech, but the exam is not going to ask you the part of speech. The expectation from the students are like little higher, not like school exams. These are International English Olympiad exams. So we need to understand the concepts of nouns, pronouns, and all the parts of speech: nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, articles, preposition, conjunction, punctuation, voices, narration, concord, question forms, tenses. Tenses is a very, very important topic, but a very vast topic. And then conditionals, modals, collocations, etc. So these all topics are going to be in our parts of speech that we are going to learn, understand and prepare as the exam requires. Okay. Then phrasal verbs, idioms, homonyms and homophones, words related to, see, till here from synonyms to homophones. Okay. From synonyms to homophones, the syllabus is quite familiar to us. Okay, we are going to understand the similar words, the opposite words, the phrases, the idioms. Okay, we are going to understand the tenses, and then also the preposition, conjunction, the parts of speech, etc. But in the section first, when these all topics are covered, there is a tricky topic where we can get good numbers, which is word related to weather, countries, languages and people and global problems. So here, why I call this a tricky part of the section 1? Because in section 1, these are all topics are familiar. Okay, one way or another, you are familiar with these topics. Okay, you might have heard something, or maybe when we are going to learn, you already have watched videos somewhere, or in your schools the teachers are teaching you these topics. Okay, but when it comes to this part, this is your own part. You are going to prepare by yourself. Okay, how? We are going to read as much as possible related to, because this topic is about words. Okay, this topic is about word power. Remember, the section 1 is all about the word power, right? So this topic is covered. Let's just consider this. These all topics are covered. Words related to weather, countries, languages and people. So what we are going to read? We are not going to read any any book which is not related to our syllabus, any story which is not related to our syllabus. We are going to read some few topics or related, any article or essays related to weather, countries, languages and people, global problems. These are the topics we need to remember. Okay, the syllabus is very simple. The syllabus is very simple, but what makes it tricky is the words that you are going to prepare. Okay, so there will be questions asked. Related to your weather. Okay, it could be like what is the weather condition, right? And weather conditions, it will be asked about weather conditions or anything related to weather. Then countries. Okay, let's say it is about somehow related to geography. Okay, then language and people, maybe tribal languages will be asked. Okay, we are not really sure about what kind of question is expected in this section. However, we know the pattern, what kind of question is expected in this section. So it might be related about the weather, the countries, the tribal languages or any language, the country language, okay, the people, the global problems. What are the global problems? Poverty is a global problem, deforestation is a global problem, right? These problems, these global problems will be expected, okay. So as a student, as an aspirant, we need to understand this section so that we can prepare accordingly. Okay, we need to understand the demand of the question paper, the demand of the questions, and what is included in the section 1. So this is all about section 1, where we are going to understand all these topics, okay, and then we are going to make sure that these part is going to make you the achiever 1. Okay. So yes, we will be going forward, we will be understand what is the achiever thing in this exam. We will definitely understand what is it. But while preparing for section 1, these topics you will get, I'm definitely going to tell you tips and tricks to remember these topics, to solve the problems, to solve the questions in 60 seconds. But this is something you have, I am going to tell you this as well. I am going to tell you how we are going to prepare for these topics, but you are going to prepare by yourself, because you have to read daily, you have to make points daily, you have to underline or pick the words that you don't know, you have to understand the word, the meaning, the utilization of the word, and that is how you are going to prepare for the section 1 and specifically this part. Alright? Great. So my mool mantra, as I said, is understand. Okay, we are going to understand the section 1. We have already completed the section 1 and we are understanding the syllabus for the 10th class IEO. Now moving forward, I hope you understood the section 1. Moving forward, section 2. Okay, always remember what we are going to do is understand. Don't underestimate this word, okay. Do not underestimate this word, because this word will make you the achiever for this exam, okay. So section 2 is all about search for and retrieve information, to collect the information from various text types. There will be different text types that you are going to read, and the section 2 will be all about the various text types like encyclopedias. What is encyclopedia? Encyclopedia, there is the detailed information of, like for example, encyclopedia of animals or birds or countries, etc. Okay, the detailed information is mentioned in the encyclopedias. Then dictionaries, all of you understand this word. Then understand information presented in instructional manual. Always remember this. Okay, in section 2, okay, encyclopedias and dictionaries you understood. Now what is instructional manual format? If you buy something, like let's suppose you are buying electronic material or you are buying something online, okay, there is a booklet that we generally forget to read. Maybe because of the excitement, but we generally forget to read. But if you are preparing for this exam, I suggest you, by my deep heart, I am suggesting you that you have to read anything which is new to you and which is mentioned in your syllabus. So if you see the instructional manual format is mentioned in your syllabus, then what you are going to do is you are going to read the instructional manuals. You are going to practice on the instructional manuals. You are going to find out the different word, the difficult word, the new words from the instructional manuals. Okay, how the sentences are built in this format. Okay. So we are going to understand the instructional manual for section 2, then messages format and others, okay. Then acquire broad understanding. Broad understanding of what? Specific information in longer texts, okay. It is not just reading longer texts. We are going to acquire the broad understanding. Like if something is mentioned in the editorial, or essay, the exam is asking you how much do you understand. Okay, so of course there will not be like one full page of essay or editorial or something like that, like yes, editorials and essays, right? Yes, of course we have only 60 minutes to read and respond, so of course it is not going to be lengthy. However, 3 to 4 lines or 10 lines, if there are 10 lines as well, you have to read each and every sentence, each and every word, and acquire broad understanding. So you need to understand what message is given in the given editorial or essays, alright, and make interfaces from the advanced texts. So yes, first section was all about your word power, okay, your vocabulary, your understanding of word. What do you understand from this word, okay? How do you express this word similar to another option? Like 4 options are given, right? If you are familiar with this exam or any competitive exam, there will be 4 options, okay? 4 options are given. We have to choose the appropriate one. Let's consider second option is the appropriate one, but there will be at least 2 similar options. And while preparing for the like exam, okay, while preparing exams like competitive exams where we will be given 4 different options, I mean, we have to choose the correct one, we have to choose the appropriate one. This is International English Olympiad exam. Okay, this is not any simple exam like we are preparing for our schools or maybe any other exams. This is International English Olympiad, right? So yes, questions difficulty level will be higher as compared to our school exams, and when we are given already, like we are already given a few like 4 options. So when we are preparing for the school exam, let's consider question 1 XYZ, okay, this is the question 1, we are given like 10 lines and we have to write something. But if you don't know the answer, still you will be able to answer something related to the question, okay. In this exam, you are not going to make any tukkabazi, okay. You have to choose the appropriate one, otherwise no marks. However, if we see this topic, like if we see this point in positive way, we don't have to think about and write anything like any random things in the question. We have to understand the question and simply choose one correct option. So this is our plus point. Instead of thinking the negative way, this is our plus point, that we don't have to read and write anything that comes to our mind. In fact, we have to choose the correct one and we will be getting 1 mark for each question. So yes, this is about your exam pattern. However, about the syllabus or section, we saw first section was about word power, and the second section is about your reading power. It is about your reading power. Great. So what do I mean by reading power? So reading power means whenever you read a sentence, a story, a poem, or a news, editorial, essay, anything, whatever you read, do you understand what the message, what is the message in the given text? Do you understand? Okay, what kind of words are used? What kind of words are used in the longer texts? How the sentences are built, right? What do you understand from the given text or from the given sentence, the essay, the editorials, any structure? What do you understand? So section 2 is about your reading, the power of your, like understand the reading power. Okay. So yes, section 2 is about reading power. Section 1 is about your word power, understanding the word. Here understanding the longer text, the messages. Okay. I hope you understood the section 2, and now we are moving forward to section 3 and section 4, which is quite different from the section 1 and section 2, because in section 1 we are going to understand the meaning of the word, we are going to understand the utilization of the word. In section 2 we are understanding the text, we are understanding the essay, we are understanding the editorials, right? We are understanding the message which is delivered from the text. But in section 3 what we are going to understand is situation based variations in functions. What is it? Situation based variation in functions. The situations will be given and the question is expecting, is the student able to understand the complements or agreement or disagreement, or is it requesting or seeking for any information, and of course the pronunciation. So while you are preparing for this exam, the exam is not making you intellectual just by using better words and something or choosing the correct option. No, actually it is making you a good communicator. Okay? How? First of all, it is asking you for the better vocabulary in section 1. Second, it is asking you to understand, okay, to understand whatever it is, maybe it is a scripted or someone is telling you verbally, okay, you are reading or you are understanding, listening to someone and you are responding accordingly. And in section 3, the exam is actually building your skills, your soft skills. So see, it is about your situation based variations. So they will be asking you if the given text is like asking or if the given text is giving you or asking you for the accepting for the compliments, or is it agreed, like are you agreed or not, it is requesting, or are you seeking any information from the given text. The questions will, again the difficulty level becomes higher when we move to the section 3. It is like section 1, section 2, section 3 and section 4. Okay, so yes, section 3 is about your mental ability, okay, it's about your mental ability to understand the situation based variations. How do you respond? Okay, how do you respond while you are communicating with someone? It is not just speaking, it is not just making your vocabulary strong, it is not just making your reading better, it is also making your communication better. So don't think this exam is all about the medals, the marks, and if you are achieving the good marks in this exam. It is also preparing for you as a great communicator. You are going to deliver a speech, you are going to answer someone, and you are just in 10th class, right? You are currently in 10th class and you have a bright future ahead if you can become a good communicator, right? So this exam is making you a good communicator. How? It is making your vocabulary strong, right? It is making your reading and understanding strong, and it is making your communication very good, right? It is making your communication strong. So yes, this is the section 3, and section 3 is about understanding your mental ability. So the exam will be like checking your mental ability of the student to understand the situation based variations in the functions. And when it comes to section 4, as I said 1, 2, 3, 4, section 4, the syllabus is as per section 1, 2 and 3, but in higher order thinking. So we call it like hot questions. Okay, hot questions. So what is going to be in the section 4? The similar questions will be asked, but the of course the higher order thinking there will be, so the difficulty level will be higher. It is so like common to understand that if you able to solve these sections, okay, anyone who is preparing for this exam, if you are able to solve these questions, there will be something tricky in this exam, and that is going to be your section 4. So we don't need to understand right now, we don't need to understand the different like higher order thinking, what is exactly, what does that mean, but we need to understand, if you are able to understand the section 1, 2 and 3, if you have good critical thinking, if you can creative thinking, if you have creative thinking, then you will be able to achieve good marks in section 4. Why? Because this is your achievers section. Okay, this is your achievers section. So yes, how and why this is your achiever section, why is it called your achiever section, we are going to understand through your exam pattern. Okay. This is your exam pattern which is for class 5th to 12th. We are specifically going to understand the 10th class pattern. Why? Because the syllabus is quite the pattern is quite similar. However, the syllabus is slightly different. Okay, specifically in section 2 and section 3. In fact, in section 1 it is different from other classes. However, the pattern is same. So that is what we are going to understand. This is section 1, this is section 2, this is section 3 and this is our section 4. Yeah, very simple. Word and structure knowledge. Is the student able to understand the meaning of the word, and is he or she is able to understand the structure, and is she having the knowledge to make a structure of good sentences, right? Okay, so section 1 is about word and structure. As I said, it is all about the word power. Okay, there will be 30 questions. See, there are so many questions because the syllabus is very vast. Syllabus is very vast, and that is why we are going to have 30 questions in section 1, 1 mark for each question. So ultimately the total marks for section 1 is 30. Okay. In section 2, as I said, reading power. So the the section 2 is all about reading of question or reading comprehension. Let's say reading comprehension, and number of questions will be 10. There will be 10 questions and 1 for each. 1 mark for each question. So ultimately the total marks will be 10. 10 marks for section 2. So here 30 plus 10, 40. Now, spoken and written expression, where I said you are going to speak, you are going to communicate better, and that is what the section 3 is all about. So there will be 5 questions, 1 mark for each question. So total marks will be 5. So here we are going to understand section 1, 2, 3 is for 45 marks. 30 plus 10, 40 plus 5, 45. Okay. So yes, section 1, 2 and 3 are for 45 marks. If you are preparing with preparation easy, if you are watching my videos, and if you are going to understand each and every topic, then it will be easier for you to solve the questions in exam. However, the question is not going to be easy because the section 4 is your achiever section. Now I am telling you why it is called achiever section, because there will be only 5 questions and 3 marks for each question. So there will be 15 marks for achiever section. So if you want to score better than anyone, you have to understand that critical thinking, the achiever section, the section 4 is going to be very important for you to get good marks in this exam. Okay, how you are going to get good marks? We are going to prepare for these 3, and of course we are going to prepare our critical thinking, our creative thinking, our problem solving, etc. Okay, great. So this is our structure, this is our pattern of this exam, and so the total questions will be 50 and total marks will be 60. Total marks will be 60. So for 50 questions, we are going to have 60 minutes and 60 marks and 60 seconds for each question. Alright. This is all about the pattern of this exam, or we can say the distribution of the sections are like this. Section 1 for 30 marks, section 2 for 10 marks, section 3 for 5 marks, and section 4 for total 15 marks. I hope you understood the marking system of the sections of the marking system of this exam, and now moving forward we have to make a good plan to achieve a good number, right? So I have come up with the plan for all of you. If you are ready, if you are ready to prepare, if you are ready to get good marks, if you are ready to achieve good marks in this exam, we have to make a good plan. And how we are going to prepare for this exam, how we are going to make a plan for this exam, we are going to understand what the exam is expecting from us. So the exam is not about your knowledge, is not just about your knowledge, it is not just making your vocabulary better, it is not just making your reading better, but it is also making your problem solving skills, creativity and critical thinking. So you are not just going to read, you are not just going to write, you are not just going to choose the correct option, you are also going to develop problem solving skills, creativity and critical thinking, which is really very important when it comes to the real world. And this exam is not making you just intellectual person regarding like about your words or vocabulary, it is making you a perfect communicator while you come to the real world. Okay? So according to our plan, the first thing is to understand the syllabus and exam pattern. So yes, the great news is I hope you understood the syllabus and exam pattern, why it was so important while making a plan. Okay, why it is in the first thing in our list. The reason is, let's say if you not preparing, but if you prepare for a war, if you are preparing for a war, you are going to understand the need of the war, right? You are going to understand the need of the war, what we are going to achieve through this war. Okay, and we are also going to understand the opponent. Let's say the exam is our opponent, however it is not, it is building us. Okay, it is a plus point for us, but if you are preparing for a war, let's consider like that, and then we have to understand what is our opponent. Our opponent is the syllabus. If you don't understand the syllabus, you won't be able to crack this exam. I am really sorry for this sentence, but this is the fact. If you don't understand, that's why I said in very first thing, like if you are watching this video, make sure you write it down. The syllabus is very handy to, like you can watch and see the syllabus every day, right? The exam pattern every day. Paste it on your wall or make it a wallpaper. Do whatever easier for you, but make sure you see the syllabus every day. Okay? Yes, so we have to understand the syllabus and the exam pattern, that I hope you have understood. Now moving forward, we have to understand and build a strong conceptual knowledge. So there is a lot in this syllabus, right? Different types of words, parts of speech, reading comprehension, then of course thoughts and section 3. But if we are preparing for this exam, we need to build a strong conceptual knowledge. We can't be like, okay, this is the syllabus, this is the requirement, this is the demand of the question and this is the correct option. No, this is not going to happen. This is not going to make you a good scorer. Why? Because if you don't understand, if you don't build a strong conceptual knowledge about specific topic, take any topic. Let's take the simplest topic, I think, the synonyms. Okay, synonyms is a very simple topic. Why? Because we just need to understand the similar words for the word. However, if each word has 10 to 15 similar words, we need to remember each and every word. But are you able to remember each and every word in such short span? My bad. In such short span, are you able to remember each and every similar word? Which is highly, like, we can say it is going to be very difficult for you, and if you remember you are not, and if you don't understand the concept of the specific word, then you are not going to able to understand the demand of the question once again. Okay, so you have to build strong conceptual knowledge, then practice problem solving and logical reasoning, which is really important when it comes to our section 3 and section 4. We need to practice the problem solving and logical reasoning while solving the questions in section 3 and section 4. Now mock test. Mock test is going to help you how, like as I said, you are preparing for a war, you are also preparing for this war, and if you want to win the war, right? Mock test is going to help you because it is going to make you understand the exam pattern. It is going to understand, you are be able to understand the demand of the question, the expectations, what they expect from you, right? So mock tests are going to help you. Then focus on time management. So yes, time management is going to a really very important plan while we are preparing for this exam. How? See, we have 60 minutes, right? We have 50 questions, and each question, if we see, 60 seconds for each question. Okay, if we are getting 60 seconds for each question, we have to complete this the whole exam in 60 minutes, and we have to read and respond. Read and respond in a very short time, right? We have only 60 seconds to read a whole question, then the options given, and we have to choose the correct one. So we have very less time to read and respond the question in the exam hall while you are under pressure, right? So time management is something that is going to help you while preparing for this exam. How? If you prepare for the mock test, if you give a mock test daily, right, daily or weekly, somehow this is going to make it easier to find how much time do you take while solving. Okay, so in short, what I am saying is, if you are preparing, if you are giving any mock test, there will be like, okay, this is your question part, this is your answer part. Okay, there are 50 questions. You are reading each question, reading the options and choosing one option which is correct. Then you are going to the answer sheet, and then you see, oh wow, my first question is right, correct, yeah. And again you are jumping to the second question, the options, okay, and you are choosing one, and here we go, the second option, the second chosen one was wrong, like correct option was option C, and you have chosen option B, right? Option number 2. Oh, so bad, I am wrong here, my answer is incorrect, oh no, yeah, blah blah, etc, etc. So see, you are wasting your time. You will never be able to understand how much time do you take to read the question and to respond the question. So that is why I am telling you again and again, if you want to prepare for this exam, mock tests are going to help you. How? Only if you are like religiously preparing for this exam. When I am saying religiously, it doesn't mean any religion. However, when you are desperately preparing for this exam. Okay. Yes. So this is the previous slide. That was a really bad preparation, I would say. We are not going to understand our time management, we are not going to understand how much do we understand, and we are not going to understand the demand of the question, nothing. So it will be like any optional subject, and you are choosing one single option, correct or incorrect doesn't matter. Okay, so if you want to score good, if you want to be a scorer, if you want to be achiever, then we have to make sure that our time management is good. And it is not only about your exam timing. Okay, it is not about the 60 minutes, it is all about the preparation timing as well. Okay, if we have 2 months, if we have 2 months in our hand and we have to complete the syllabus, we have to prepare, we have to give mock tests, we have to check our answer sheets, there is a lot to do if we have only 2 months. So we have to make a plan, we have to make a chart, a timetable, and we have to follow it thoroughly, religiously, and then only we will be able to understand the timing, how much time do you take to solve the question. Okay. Of course, we are going to work on it as well, but however, right now we are just going to understand our plan, and time management is a really very important factor. Okay. Moving forward, reading comprehension, section 2, section 3, in fact the whole exam is about your reading comprehension, because how much do you understand from the question, do you understand the demand of the question, do you understand the options, right, do you understand the correct or appropriate one, right? then only you will be able to choose the appropriate option, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it will be, but for that you need to understand, you need to focus on your reading comprehension. Moving further, solve the previous year question papers and mock test. Previous year question paper and mock test will make you understand what is the pattern, okay, what kind of questions are being asked in the exam, again what kind of synonyms, antonyms, tenses, how they are going to ask, and you will be understanding this with only previous year's question paper and mock test, okay. So कभी आपने देखा होगा क्रिकेटर्स वगैरह जो होते हैं, what do they watch opponents cricketer, okay, opponent, and they watch, they understand the tricks and tips, right, or maybe how do they respond, right. So we need to understand similarly how we are going to respond. We are going to solve the previous year question papers and mock test of previous year, okay. Now focus on critical thinking. Of course, while preparing and if we come to this point till 8th, we will be able to start think critically, okay. We will be start thinking critically. And what do I mean by, like, what does it mean? Critical thinking, what is it? If you don't know, let's understand this very short. Ask questions like how, why, when, etc., etc. So just like a child, be curious. If you are curious enough to understand, then you will be able to think critically, okay. And finally, last but not least, stay motivated. If you are preparing for this exam, you have to be motivated all the time, and I have a great mool mantra for this motivation, and it is discipline, okay. If you are disciplined, if you know when to wake up, if you know when to sleep, if you are doing your exercise, eating healthy, you have good habits, healthy habits, and you are preparing for this exam, you have made a good timetable and you are following it thoroughly, then you will be able to stay motivated, because the vision is very clear, right. The vision is very clear. I have to solve this number of questions, 50 questions a day, right, 60 questions a day. Give target to yourself, okay. Let it be a target, let there be a target, and achieve the target and stay motivated by being disciplined, okay. So yes, this is going to be our plan. We have already completed the first one. We have understood the syllabus and exam pattern. Again, I am telling you, write it down, make a chart, print it out, do whatever easier for you, but make sure you are reading and watching, seeing the syllabus each and every day, okay. Okay. Now conceptual knowledge, we are going to build our conceptual knowledge in each video. We are going to understand each and every topic. We are not just going to read, or we are not just going to, grammatically going to think. No, we are going to understand the conceptual knowledge. Then problem solving, of course we are also working on it. Mock test, focus on time management. Time management is really important. Work on your time. Then focus on reading comprehension. Read as much as possible. Read newspapers, read short stories, read articles, read editorials, read books, read essays, whatever you are going to get. Read instructional manuals. Whichever topic is mentioned in the syllabus, read it. Okay, start reading. Reading comprehension will make it easier for you while you are going to be in the exam hall and you have 60 minutes and you have 50 questions and you have to choose the correct one. Reading comprehension will make it easier. Okay, then solve previous year question papers. Focus on critical thinking, because in section 4 we have to make ourselves very aware, mindful, because critical thinking is going to make you the achiever one. And finally, finally being disciplined or staying motivated, okay, which is almost similar. Okay, so yes, in short, let's just give a quick review. Okay, section 1 is our word power. Okay, first of all, First of all, it is all about understanding, okay, understanding what your word power next section is about your reading power. Right? Third is about your mental ability to understand, okay, mental ability to understand. And the fourth section is everything like all of above, but in higher order thinking, So this is going to be our syllabus overview, right? The syllabus overview, the exam pattern, right? The plan. We are going to make a plan for this exam, how we are going to prepare for this exam, right? So for the time being, let me tell you one thing, that if you are preparing for this exam, you have to be very mindful. We have to be very, you cannot be absent minded while reading or while watching these videos, okay? So for now, I hope you have understood everything, and you understood the exam pattern, you understood the syllabus, and you understood the plan, how we are going to prepare for this, okay? So with preparation easy, it is going to be a lot easier with me, Apeksha. So stay tuned, our next video will be available, and you have to read each and every topic, you have to prepare for each and every topic, and I am going to give you some tricks and tips to make it easier, okay? So thank you all for watching this video. Stay tuned, stay connected, and we will be coming up with next video, and we will meet very soon.